Just trying to get my resistance bands untangled. Welcome to this little flow where we are going to use a couple of resistance bands. And just so you know, what I recommend that you use, what I'm using, is the sort of a very light resistance band. It's about 1/2 centimeter in thickness. And then the next thickness level up, which is about 1 centimeter. But you can make do with just whatever you've got, honestly, like even a pair of old tights or something might even do the trick. And we're going to be focusing a lot on the shoulders and the arms because I know, myself included, we yogis, we do a lot of just like pushing movements. We do a lot of the same kind of movements with the arms, and sometimes that can lead to some shoulder issues. So I hope this was going to maybe help you in some way, whether that's to alleviate some shoulder problems or prevent them. We're going to begin with our lightest band, and I want you to bring that into a little double loop, all right, and place it so that the palms are facing together. Bring your elbows down by your side and come to stand at the front of your mat, feet hip width distance. And keeping your elbows down by your side and your shoulders pressing down away from the ears, begin to externally rotate the arms so that you're stretching that resistance band out. And just watch the posture of your upper back. Make sure you're not kind of pressing the chest out. So the only thing that should be moving is the big arm, the big upper arm bone in the shoulder joint. All right, so let's say we've done about 5. We'll do 5 more. 5, 4. Make sure you're breathing nice and smooth through the nose. 2, 1. Good. All right. So we're going to continue with that same movement, but just get a little bit of leg movement in with it. So get your arms moving out, same as before. Elbows stay in, palms of the hands move out. Step the left leg back, and then step it forward, back to standing. Keep the arms going, just kind of pumping out. Step the right leg back into a crescent lunge, and step it forward. 4 more like that each side. Left leg back, and forward. Right leg back, and forward. And maybe choose a focal point in front of you so that you're not looking straight down, or maybe even look slightly up, because this can help with that external rotation as well as the extension of the hip of the back leg moving back. All right, I have lost count. Let's do 1 more each side. Left leg back, right leg back. Marvelous. All right, so those shoulders are feeling warmed up. Say hello to your external rotators. Now, swap out your bands, grab that slightly bigger one, and again, we're going to double loop it, I think. Is that what I had planned? No, too much to double loop. Not double looped. Bring it back behind you. So place the bands kind of like above the thumb so that they're not going to move out of place. And I'm going to have to move away from my wall here. So then extend your arms straight out wide. What we're going for is to let the band pull the arms together behind us. Make sure that they stay about level with the shoulders though, so don't let them drop down or lift up. Maybe even have a glance and make sure that they're more or less level with the shoulders. And then pull them back in line, looking forward to the point where you can see your hands. Maybe give a little wiggle of your fingers so your peripheral vision starts to get involved as well. See, we're even getting our eyes involved. Then take it back, nice and slow, nice and controlled. Bring it back forward. Keep the shoulders pressing slightly down, away from the ears. Try not to let them lift up too much. So that's 3. Maybe you just glance so we can get our eyes involved, looking over at our hands, making sure that they're more or less shoulder height. But then also, it's really nice to look forward. You should be able to develop the proprioception to do this without looking. And then you get that little peripheral vision bonus. All right, I think we're at about 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Just like before, I'm just going to add in some lunges. So step the right leg back as you move back and forth, kind of like, I don't know, flapping your wings. And maybe even imagine, I'm too close to the wall here. It's knocking me over. Maybe even imagine that you're like a little bird. And what you can do, if this feels like too much now, like the coordination challenge of stepping back with one leg and all this, is you can just hold. So find a point where you're getting that resistance. You feel your muscles are working. So not letting it just pull yourself passively back there, but resisting against that band and just holding it there as well as you step back and forward. Just make sure whatever you're doing, whichever option you're doing, make sure you're breathing. All right, I feel like one more each leg should do it. I'm feeling the burn now. All right, good. So let that band just go off to the side. Bring yourself back to stand. Maybe shake out those shoulders a little bit. Feel the strength. Then take an inhale, reach the arms up, look up, lift up nice and tall. Squeeze those glutes as you exhale, fold down into a little uttanasana. Hold here, put a little bend in the legs, maybe grab opposite elbows and just let the shoulders relax and hang as you sway from side to side, perhaps pedaling the feet. Just getting into this, giving those shoulders a little bit of a rest. When you're ready, rise up, come up halfway, take an inhale. As you exhale, plant the hands nice and firm and step back to a plank. So, familiar territory for us yogis. But what I want you to do here in your plank is imagine pressing, just using your shoulders, pressing the shoulder blades away from each other, your chest away from the mat. And lift the hips up as you open through the shoulders, moving your shoulders up towards your ears into a downward facing dog. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just roll forward back into that plank. Good. Just 2 more like that. So nice and slow, opening the shoulders, trying to find full scapular elevation and extension through the, flexion through the shoulders as you move into your down dog. And then press it back to plank, just noticing how your shoulders feel. One more time into your downward facing dog. Put a nice bend through the knees, lift the tailbone high, and press once again your shoulders up towards your ears. And then just straighten the knees kind of towards a downward facing dog. Bend the knees and straighten, maybe look towards your thumbs a little bit. Bend and straighten. Lovely. Now put, once again, a little bend in the knees. Rock the shoulders forward. Roll onto the outside of the left foot and slowly peel the right hand off the mat. Maybe you want to keep the fingertips down or have the right arm up overhead. And here, can you just bend into your knees again and straighten? Just kind of moving through that shoulder. Make sure you're pressing firmly, strongly through that shoulder, like you're trying to get your ribs as far away from the mat as you can. Bending and straightening the knees. Good. One more time, bend and straighten. And next time, as you bend, bring that right leg back behind you and slowly twist and open up the chest and the hips towards the ceiling. Stretching out through the pectoral muscles, those ones that we were just working on with our thicker resistance band. Retract your shoulder blades, see if you can pull them towards each other. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, bring your right hand back down to the mat, coming back into your plank. And press it back to your downward facing dog with the knees bent. Just like before, rock the shoulders forward a little bit, roll onto the outside of the right foot. Draw the left hand back just on the fingertips if you want to kind of use it as a kickstand, or reach the left arm up. Bend and straighten the knees. Keep pressing out through that right shoulder, pressing the right fingertips firmly into the mat as you bend and straighten the knees. Maybe feel free to, go nice and slow, make little micro adjustments to how your scapula sits. So that's your shoulder blade. Imagine you're kind of pulling it down or back towards the other scapula, whatever makes it feel strong and supported. All right, with the knees bent, draw that left leg back behind you and slowly open up, sort of towards a wild thing, hips and chest up towards the ceiling. And with your mind on that right shoulder, can you pull the shoulder blade towards the middle of your back? Squeeze those glutes as well. Stretching out the right pectoral muscle. Take an inhale. Good. As you exhale, just roll all the way back to your plank and press back to your downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. Breathe. When you're ready, bend the knees, look forward, take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the feet back up to the front of the mat. Inhale in your Ardha Uttanasana. And while we're down here, go ahead and grab your thicker resistance band once again and slide it underneath your feet. So the middle of the band underneath the feet so that you kind of create two little handles either side. When you're ready, bend the knees and slowly rise up to stand, which is going to involve bringing some tension to that resistance band. All right, what we're going to do is actually release, step the left leg out of the band, just behind you. Keep most of your weight in the right leg and use the left leg just as a kickstand. Now your option as we move through the next sequence is to actually even pull the left heel to the butt, but let's start off with the left toes down to support us. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, make it nice and quick. And feel all of the muscles around your ribs and abdomen engaging with that strong exhale. Press out a little bit more. Empty your lungs entirely. Good. Notice, breathe again. Let yourself breathe again. But notice the position that your ribs went into when you exhaled. And we're going to try and hold on to that because just as I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes the tendency is to let the ribs flare out, but we want to keep the movement through the shoulders, all right? So holding on to that, if you need to, just blow out imaginary birthday candles and lean back forward into an Ardha Uttanasana where we were before. So chest parallel to the floor, left leg back there just as a kickstand, and keeping the elbows in towards your chest, just pull the elbows up. So chaturanga kind of movement of the elbows, but of course the resistance is going in the opposite direction. 10 of these like rows, 9, 8, and if you have one arm that feels like it just needs more TLC, you can always just do this on one arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Rise up. Now we're going to get off that right leg and switch over to the left leg. And just like before, use the right foot behind you as a kickstand. You have the option to pull the heel to the butt. Turn the palms to face forward though, and make sure those ribs are pulled in. 5 bicep curls here. So only bending the elbows to bring the wrists towards the front of your shoulders. If you can't quite go into full flexion, don't worry. Just go as far as you can. Just 5, 4, and last one. Good. All right, switch back into the right leg. Still holding on to the resistance band. And this time, your option, if you want, is to bring the left knee to the chest. And we're gonna keep the arms straight, thumbs forward, and just take the band as far out wide as you can for 5, 4, maybe a little micro bend through the elbows if you're hypermobile. 3, 2, keep the shoulders down here. 1, lovely, release that. Oh, Shake it out. Bring your feet back to hip width distance. Reach the arms up. Inhale as you look up. Just nice and long. Give it a good shake out if you want to. And exhale into your Uttanasana. Same as before. Bend the knees, grab opposite elbows, or just let your arms hang. Pedal the feet here. When you're ready, rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands firmly. Walk back to your plank. Give me a nice squeeze of the tush, the top of the plank. And then 3 times, take it back to downward facing dog, nice and slow. Keep the knees bent if you need to. And then take it back to your plank. Back to your down dog. Breathing as you go into your plank. One more time, downward facing dog. Knees bent. Then straighten and bend. Maybe you can keep kind of straightening and bending as you twist the knees to the right, the heels to the left, slowly peeling the right hand off of the mat. So we're in a little side plank, bending and straightening the knees. Maybe you keep that going as you take the right leg back behind you and slowly twist to open your chest and hips up to the ceiling, squeezing the glutes. Kind of just moving that left shoulder through these slightly different ranges of motion. As the knees keep bending and straightening, slowly making your way back to plank, still bending and straightening the knees. And taking the knees over to the left, the heels to the right, peel the right hand off, reach the right hand up if you like. Keep bending and straightening, pressing out through that shoulder. Take the left leg back behind you, slowly open up the chest, the hips to the sky, squeezing those glutes, still bending and straightening. Good. Nice bit of coordination movements. Still bending and straightening the knees as you make your way back to plank. Finally, move into your downward facing dog. Maybe take a moment here in stillness to assess what your shoulders feel like here. Maybe you feel you've unlocked some little micro movements, little tweaks that feel good and strong for you. And when you're ready, take an inhale, bend the knees, look forward, and bring your feet up to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway, feet hip width distance. Grab that resistance band and slide it under the feet. Make your little handles. Put a little bend in the knees to rise up to stand. Good job. Step the right leg out of the band this time. So just behind you is a little kickstand. These leggings. All right. So just like before, take an inhale and then exhale nice and quick. Pull the ribs in and notice that position that your torso goes into, and just really take note of it and make sure you can hold your torso in that position. As we now hinge through the hips into our Ardha Uttanasana, and we got 10 rows on this side here. On the left leg, 8, 7. Remember, you've got the option to pull the heel to the butt, 6, 5, if you want to add a balance challenge to this, 2, 1, good. Rise back up, step the right leg in, the left leg back behind you, kickstand or pull the heel to the butt. We've got our bicep curls, so rotate the palms to face forward, pull the ribs in, make sure you're not back bending here. Elbows stay locked in at your hips, and then bicep curl up. Whew. For 5, maybe the lighter resistance band is better for this one if you've got mega weak biceps like me. 3, 2, ooh, I need this so bad. 1, and I should have said this earlier, do try and make sure, I just noticed it in myself, that the wrists aren't doing too much bending. Try and keep them straight. All right, step the left leg back into that resistance band, the right leg out. This time, bring the right knee to your chest if you want to. Thumbs go forward. Wrists stay as straight as possible, and then just 5 times. Bring the arms out away from you for 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, watch those wrists, watch those ribs. 1, good. Release all of that. One more time. Just come to stand in your Tadasana. Maybe just give it another little shake out. Assess how you feel. Assess how you feel as you reach the arms up and stretch nice and tall. Assess again, maybe how you feel in your Uttanasana, in a little ragdoll. From here, as you inhale into your Ardha Uttanasana, we're going to lift up the heels and bend the knees to lower the hips onto the heels. Just walk your hands back behind you to come onto your bum. Extend the right leg straight, keep the left leg bent. Left foot flat on the floor. Bring your arms back behind your head. Take an inhale. Lengthen nice and long, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Right, now we're gonna lean back. Imagine you're trying to get the left elbow to touch the back of the mat. Ooh, and then lean forward. 5 more like that. Option is to lift one leg or both legs. As you stay twisted and lean back, I always offer that, but I never do it. And then lean forward. That's 2, got 3 more. Breathe as you go. Last one. Good. Lower the left hand down back behind you. Plant the left foot flat. And one last little stretch for the shoulder, active stretch. Lift the hips up. And maybe slowly begin to think about stretching through the pectoral muscle. As you bring the shoulder blades together behind you, but still pressing nice and firmly out of that shoulder. And breathing and squeezing the glutes. You can do what you like with the right arm. Good. On your next exhale, lower the hips down nice and gently, nice and mindfully. Just switch the legs out. Right knee bent, left leg straight. Bring the hands behind your back and twist around to the right. Just like before, lean back, holding onto your twist as you try and imagine you can just touch that right elbow all the way to the mat and rise back up. And then lean it forward, left elbow to the left knee. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Another little balance challenge here. Phew, all right. Release your hands, lower the right hand back behind you, press down firmly through that right foot, and lift the hips up. Slowly, slowly pressing more and more that shoulder into the shoulder blade into retraction. Think about stretching the pectoral muscle. That's the muscle at your chest, in case you don't know. All right, just breathe here. Feel free to make some little micro movements. Just play around with, if you twist your elbow, if you press a little bit more through the fingers, make little micro movements, maybe even with the neck, or just you're focusing on the shoulder. Just notice like what kind of feels right for you, what feels best for you. Lower the hips down, come back through center. Good, and just to finish off, come to lie on your back. Bring your arms out wide like a cactus, so elbows bent. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower the knees over to the left. Inhale, bring the knees back to center, so knees to the chest, feet up off the mat. Exhale, knees to the right. Ooh, got a few cracks through my back there. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Keep pressing the elbows down just like 5%. One more time each side. Knees to the left, elbows pressing down. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees to the right, elbows pressing down. Good. Inhale, back through center. Hug your knees into your chest. Close your eyes, or maybe just bring your chin towards your chest and look down towards your cheekbones. And just see if there's anything else that you feel you need in your body But whenever you're ready, I invite you to extend the feet to the edges of the mat and get comfortable in a resting position. So you can just bring your awareness now back to your breath. And enjoy this moment that you've made for yourself, this time that you've carved out of your day. Just give yourself these last few moments to simply lie here and be. You may notice that you're able to bring your breath a little bit more in a slower pace. You may find you can even notice your heartbeat slowing down. Perhaps you notice sensations in your shoulders, your chest, your arms. You're invited to just spend a little bit longer here, just being mindful of where you are in this present moment. Perhaps you even notice some of the sensations or maybe some of the thoughts or emotions that arise aren't particularly pleasant, and that's all part of it as well. It's just about noticing. And with that, I do invite you to stay there for as long as you like, for as long as you can. And whenever you are ready, to take this sense of mindfulness, this paying attention to how you feel and how you react to the environment and the situations that you're in. Just notice. So I hope that your shoulders and arms have enjoyed this, and I hope that you are now feeling strong in the shoulders and arms, relaxed in the mind. Thank you so much for joining me.